What if your hands were tied, not by ropes or chains, but by invisible decrees that prevented you from earning your own living? Imagine the life of such a man, once self-sufficient, now shackled by the government's prohibitions. Suddenly his world is upended, his ability to work, to provide for himself, stripped away. He becomes a reluctant guest, dependent on the charity of others. His independence, his dignity, sacrificed at the altar of circumstance. In the cold confines of a home that was not his own, he found himself a prisoner of circumstance. Imagine being a guest in a house where your presence was merely tolerated, not welcomed. Imagine the days turning into weeks, then months, in a home where every glance is laced with resentment, every word a barbed wire of disdain. This is the life of our protagonist, a man trapped in a web of circumstances beyond his control. He found a sanctuary within these four walls, yet the sanctuary soon morphed into a prison. His existence, once an act of kindness, was now a burden on the shoulders of those who had once opened their doors for him. He could feel the chill in the air, the cold stares that seemed to pierce his soul. The laughter and warmth that once filled the house had turned into stony silence and icy glares. He was a stranger in a house that was supposed to be his refuge. The house, once a refuge, had now become a fortress of hostility. What would you do if your existence was a burden to those around you? We find our protagonist wrestling with this very question, his heart heavy with the weight of his unwanted presence. A man, isolated in his despair, contemplating the unthinkable. His life had become a labyrinth of loneliness and rejection, with every turn leading to more sorrow. In the end, he was left with a choice no man should ever have to make, a choice between a life of misery or an end that promised release from the pain. Sadly, not all stories have a happy ending.